Alright, hi there everyone. My name is Chris Thayil, and here I'm going to be presenting to you my IT 202 website project. So to start off, this is the website like URL, but obviously as you can see, it says here site can't be reached, but that's because I simply haven't activated. So if I go down here to VS Code, and as you can see, this is my entire code for the course. You have the database scripts and the inventory, which is very big. So all I just have to do is go down here to the command terminal and just type in the command php capital S, local host 3000, T, and then inventory. Oh, oops, almost spelled that incorrectly. And then enter. And as you can see, development server has started. Here's the link once again, but since I already have it here, I'm just going to reload it. And look at that, there's my shop. And as you can see, it's a board game shop with inventory management. So this is basically a shop to help manage inventory for board games, cards, and anything like board game related, if you have a good memory of games like Monopoly. But as you can see here, it's inventory helper, making inventory management easier. This is my name, Chris Style. This is my course. And then here's the course name. And then this is phase 5. Oh, a little typo there, but that's fine. My email, my NJIT ID, and it says here the date and time is Friday, 25th, 6:49 p.m. Eastern Time, 2025. And as you can see, it's saying here, so you can tell that the website's up to date. So that's pretty cool, right? So for starters, I'm going to log in and I have these passwords saved. So first, we're going to do the Taylor at guitarshop.com, and then I have a special password here. This is what we all used in class to log into this website just to make sure to see if it works. So then click login. And then as you can see, I can log in. It says here, welcome to Inventory Helper Taylor Swift. This is just, an OI is a fake name. Obviously, Taylor Swift will not visit this website. This is just for a test. But as you can see here, here's like the website, or at least the login page. So you here have welcome to Taylor Swift. This program tracks category, and this here tells about what this website does. This program tracks category and inventory, item inventory. Please use the links in navigation window. Please do not use the browser navigation button. So these right here. So just to show you how I can log in and log out, this is the logout button in case you want to log out. So let's just do that. And then, yep, I can just simply log in, and then I'm back here. So this is based, and as you can see, there are certain types of tabs here. You have home, you have categories, list categories, add new categories, and then you have the items, which is the list items and the add items. So if I go click home, it's basically this area right here. So first off, let's start with the categories, specifically the list categories. So as you can see, over here we have specific type of categories for different types of the shop. As you can see, I have guitars here and amplifiers, but that's because of previous examples. And basically the options you have here is view category, delete category, and update category. So what I could do is if I click on this and hit view category, I can actually see the item ID of the item name for that certain category. As you can see, guitars, 101 Fender Strat, 102 Gibson Les Paul. These are names of guitars. I can see the item code, description, wholesale price, and then the list price. So if I go to list categories, yeah, it's a little bit confusing, but if I just go back here, yeah, I don't know why that link doesn't work. And let's say if I want to delete a category, I could just go here and then I could say here delete, but the local host says, are you sure you want to remove this category? Let's say like, no, I don't want to. I don't want to make a mistake. I can say cancel and see it says here action cancel by the local host 3000. And then I hit OK, and then we're back here. But if I want to delete it, I have to go to delete category and then hit OK. But as you can see, yeah, my code and my website is very janky, so it says here fatal error. I don't know why that's the case, but oh well. But then there's another function here called update category. And basically what I can do, I can change the category name and change the category code. So what I can do is I don't want to really change this too much, so I can do GTRS, and then I could do guitars, like category and name, guitars, and I'll just do uh, guitars. I'll name it acoustic and electric. And then I can update category. And it says here category 1 update. So if I go to list category, then it shows here the change here as well. Pretty cool, right? And I can do the same thing with all these other board games. So now let's go into the next part, which is add new category. So as you can see here, similar to the list categories, it says here that the category ID, I can type in a new ID, I can type in a new category, and I can type in a new category name, and then submit a new category. And then basically what it does, it'll update it over here. So since you can see, I've added these three in the past time: board games, card games, and accessories. So now I think a good new category we could do is dice, because as you know, dice are very important in board games, and there are multiple different types of dices for multiple different types of games or dice. So let's try to do that. So for category ID, we're gonna have to type out a number. So let's just type in like a random number here, like actually, you know what? Let's just do something funny. 2025. Let's just pretend that's the category ID. And then category code, we can do something like a number, just because category code. Or if you want, you could even type letters into this. But just for the sake of simplicity, let's just go with a number. Let's just do quadruple fours. And then the category name, we can name this dices. And then all I just have to do is submit new category. Oh, whoops, I see. Okay. Please lengthen this text to use 10 characters or more. That's also something with the code. So basically, I need to have a category name that is long enough, and I'll just name this multiple dices, just to make sure it complies. And as you can see, if it meets the requirements, it changes the color of the text to make sure it's good. So then I submit new category, and it says your new category number 2025 was successfully added. So if I go back to those categories, and as you can see, it says it right here. Pretty neat, right? So now we can go on to list items. So basically, these are the items that I have like previously as well. Although I will say this part of the website is definitely more janky. So let's just see this. Yeah, I don't know why, like within my item PHP, if I go back to, VS Code, my code's like very janky and all that stuff. It says here that the error is in line 5 of item PHP, which is class item, and it says here it's not declared, even though it seems pretty good to me, but oh well. But it says here for select items, you can list out the items. So, and similar to those categories, you can view them, delete them, or update them. So let's just see this. View item, yeah, same thing. Let's go try delete item. You can do the same thing with the action localhost, but yeah, I don't know why it does that. And then let's try this again. Okay. Yeah, cannot declare item because name is already in use. But yeah, and then update item. This is the only thing I could probably do. So instead, let's change. So instead of doing this, item ID, item name, and item code, let's change up the name since it's a board game and card game shop. So let's change up the name to something like Monopoly, and then add two exclamation points to make sure like it fits the name, and then item code 0191. Let's change it to 0192 just to make sure there's nothing here. Monopoly, and if I remember correctly, the term or the description of the game where like the bargaining like slogan was like win it all. If I remember correctly, hold on, let me just check. Monopoly board slogan. Yep, own it all. So let's just do that. Own it all. But let's also add a bit of link or lose it all. Because if you guys ever played Monopoly, it's a very chaotic game. But as you can see, here's the different type of categories. So let's select board games just to make sure it goes into that category. And then we could do the same thing here, view category, but then it goes like that. Oh, oops. Okay, yep. Sorry about that. I forgot you can't use navigation tools. So let's do this again, and then this again. Own it all or lose it all. And then let's select board games, and then let's do wholesale price. Wholesale price, that basically means like prices for a wholesale for businesses and for the market venue as a whole. And since Monopoly, it's not exactly cheap, but I wouldn't consider it expensive. So let's do 19.99. I'd say that's a fair price. And as for list price, since this was previously a guitar, this is the price here, but obviously it's going to be nowhere near that expensive. That would be absurd for a Monopoly game. So let's change it to 14.99. And I will admit this select category is a little weird. I couldn't find time to fix it, or I didn't know how to. So yeah, and then try update item. But yeah, as you can see, it goes back to this issue. I don't know why that's the case, but oh well. Forgive me for doing that. Oh my god. And then for add new items, yep, it's basically the same new thing we just did here. And then search for item, well, as you can see, list. So let's go here, list items. So let's search for item 101, find. And yep, you can see here, Fender Strat. Let's do 102. Yep, Gibson Les Paul. And then find 103. Oh yeah, list items, it was not found. oh, 201, and then 201, find, and it'll show here because like the items here at least are updated and saved, it can change. And then as for the category, we can see the categories here. So let's try to do some. So let's try typing in a number. Yep, no category found. List categories. Okay. Yeah, this is getting a little annoying. Select category. So let's try one. Yep. As you can see the category here. Let's select two. Yep, Marshall amp. And then let's go 150. Okay, yeah, I don't know why this is the case. Okay, let's try 2025, see if it's updated. Okay. Yeah, like I said, this website is very janky. Let's just try to check other stuff out. Yeah. But yeah, for this is the most part of my website. I know it seems like a hot mess to begin with, but overall it seems fine. And it definitely seems functional compared to when I originally made it. And yeah, once again, when I'm done with this, I can log out. And then, yeah, that's basically my website. And this is made using all these different types of code here. Admin SQL for my database scripts, categories SQL, CRUD, categories HTTP, CRUD items, HTTP, and items SQL. And then these are some of the images that I used for the different types of sections, categories, home.png, items, and then logo. I changed it out from the original. This is the board game logo, which is a dice, which is very often associated with that. And then there's the logout PNG, and then the real time PNG, which is just the clock. And then over here we have all the different types of codes that go into this. You can see we have multiple, like, add category, add items, aside, category, change category, all that stuff, config, database, IH styles, header, footer, just for like the styling stuff. And as you can see, it's like a mix of PHP, SQL, HTML, and then CSS. But yeah, that's it for my website and for my project. And I hope you all enjoyed, and I hope you liked what you saw.